Hello, this is Ms. Zimmerman, and this is your 2016 Biology Orientation recording. Welcome to Biology. Let's get started. And in biology this year, there are a few changes. If you were with us last year, you will notice that the OLS or the LMS has changed again just a little bit. It looks just a little bit different. The calendar, you can see the agenda, you can see the assignments. That's nice. And one thing that I didn't list on here, and you'll see it again in just a minute, the units and the contents are listed straight across the top so that it's easier to see what you're looking for. Okay, and I think it's a little bit more user friendly because when you move your mouse over it, it's going to say launch for each of those things. CC schedule is new again, and attendance is required. We have a block schedule, so if you're coming to us directly from brick and mortar, that may be familiar to you. We will be doing some assignments together in class, okay? So please, if you're used to, or if you're wanting to work ahead, if you've been with TXVA for a while and you're used to working ahead, that's fine. You can still do that. Advancing to new units down here does address that. Nothing is locked except for unit tests. Okay, so you can work ahead. But I encourage you not to work too far ahead because there are going to be times when we're going to do assignments together in class, especially when it comes to doing those unit labs. So you might want to hold off and, maybe just do the quizzes on your own after you do the readings on those lessons, and then do those bigger point assignments with Class Connect, whether you come to Class Connect live or you're watching the recordings for those labs, okay? Because it really is going to benefit you to do that. A couple of other notes. If you don't pass a test, you can do test corrections, okay? So please take advantage of that. We will be having small groups, and if you fail a test and I say, hey, John and Melissa and Adam and Jane, you guys are expected to stay for small groups, please do that, okay? Because that's my time to help you. And test corrections would be one of those things that we would do in small groups. And also, no plagiarism. Typo there, I spelled plagiarism wrong. I should have fixed that. But anyway, no plagiarism. We have this academic integrity assignment right at the beginning so that you know what we expect of you as biology teachers, okay? What the academic integrity policy says. So please pay attention to that. So this is what our course looks like. Notice straight across the top, class content. And you can use the little arrows here to the right to navigate, okay? When you first log in, just as a student, at the top, you're going to have this drop-down arrow. And I was logged into biology, so it says biology A2. That's our class. If you click on that little arrow, right there, you can select English, history, whatever other classes you're taking right from that little tab, okay? Right in the middle, class announcements, and you'll see a highlight of those class announcements. We'll look at that again in some more detail in a minute. Class plan is over here on the left, and you can scroll down. There's a little scroll bar over here that I cut off, but you can scroll down and you can see the calendar. You can also click on class plan and look at that in more detail as well, okay? Then over here, your Class Connect schedule. Notice that when I did this, it says there are no sessions planned for today. That's because classes hadn't started yet, right? And if you wanted to, you could click from there and it would say go to Class Connect. Okay, so if you have a Class Connect scheduled, all you have to do is follow the links from here to be able to get to your Class Connects. Course orientation, this is what everybody should be working on first. This tells you about the class and also has the academic integrity policy posted there. Grades. Throughout the year, this is where you can check on your progress, see how you're doing, what grades are missing, what grades you might want to consider correcting, etc. Tools, this is where you can find the Dropbox. Okay, now the Dropbox doesn't say Dropbox, it says assignments, but that's where it's located. You click on tools and then you can look up assignments and turn them in there. What have I missed? Click on what have I missed, and there's going to be a nice handy chart that's going to be listed by week. It will tell you what assignments are due each week. It will have all the recordings for the actual classes that we have on Tuesday and Thursday. And it will have some other resources for you, whether it's little mini tutorials or whether it's older recordings that we have made that go over each individual lesson that you can read in the content. Okay, so there's a lot of things that you can find right there in What Have I Missed? Class content. Notice that there are two different places you can find this. You can click on the content tab at the top and it takes you to the same place as this big bar that you're seeing across the middle. When you click on that, for example, in course materials, this is what you're going to find in course materials. The syllabus is there. You can print the syllabus out. The teacher contact information. This is how you find out my information. My Skype address, my phone number. Okay, that stuff is right there. The academic integrity policy. You need this right here in order to complete the course orientation. It's in the course materials, okay, under content. And also under content are the units. The first unit we're going to be working in is the science of biology. There are 5 units this semester, so you'll scroll through each one of them and work through them in turn, okay? Then we have the class announcements. So when you click on that class announcements link, this is what you'll see, and notice that down here at the very bottom it says Biology Week 1 announcement, and then it has Meet Your Teacher, Miss Zimmerman. Now notice if it has this little slider bar right here on the right hand side, then that means that announcement is pretty long and it doesn't quite fit in the space. So you can just slide down to see all the content. Now, some of you in particular on this one might have gotten a warning that says content blocked. Okay, if you get a warning that says content blocked, go ahead and click allow, because I always use safe sites. For some reason, I don't know why it blocked that. That was Microsoft.com. So it shouldn't have blocked it. Anyway, so I always use safe sites. I'm not going to use something that's going to give you a virus or anything like that. Now, what are my materials for this class? You should be getting a box that has a microscope and test tubes and a test tube holder and a few safe chemicals, because we do have a few labs over the course of the year, okay? If you haven't gotten them yet, that's okay. We only have one lab in this unit, that's the microscope lab, and we can work around it if you haven't gotten your materials by the time that we do that lab in Unit 1. But at the same time, you can go to this website, help.k12.com, or you can call the phone number and find out what the status is of your supply box, okay? And they can tell you what's going on. Also, if you get your supplies and something's broken, that's where you contact. Okay, don't call me and say, hey, Ms. Zimmerman, my microscope is broken, or my microscope's missing an eyepiece or something, because I can't help you with that. This is the tech supply side. They are the ones who can help you with anything that might be broken in your lab supplies, okay, or missing. So what's the best way to get in touch with me? You can get in touch with me through Skype. That's actually probably the fastest way, because Skype is always up on my computer. And so in between everything else that I'm doing during the day, I can see that I have a Skype message and I can get back to you. I also have Skype on my phone. So, you know, like when I go run and pick up my kids, or if I have to leave the house for any reason, I still have Skype with me and I can say, oh, there's Maria and she has a question, and I can reply to you, okay? The email, I didn't change it. We don't use Kmail anymore. It's just email. But you can reply. You can send me email messages, but I limit myself to checking email at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Okay, so um, email is not necessarily the best way to reach me because on Tuesday and Thursdays I'm teaching all day long. And then on Monday and Wednesday and Friday, I have a lot of other meetings and things that I have to get done. So, I have to be very strict about when I'm checking those emails, and I may not get to those emails as fast as you might hope. So, send me emails for things that are less urgent. Okay. Phone calls are also good because, again, if I'm not in class, I usually try to answer right away. Okay. Especially because I see it's on my Google voice phone number, and it comes up and tells me that it's a work call and not a personal call, and then I can answer it. Okay. So make sure that you either use my Skype or phone calls if you need something pretty fast. But at the same time, do remember that it is a work type job, so try to respect business hours and decide, if you're working in the evening, whether or not it's really something urgent or something that can wait till the next day before you ask me a question. Okay, and that might be a time where you would send me an email for me to reply to you in the morning. Okay. All right, so grades. Every week, I will be posting an agenda that looks just like this one right here, and it will show you by day what we have going on, what you're supposed to read as far as a lesson, and what assignments are due. Okay. And it tells you what items we focused on a week-by-week basis at the top, just so you get a general idea of where we have been coming from and where we're going. So follow the class plan and complete assignments as they're due. This class plan that's posted under announcements matches the class plan. Sorry, I keep going the wrong way. Matches the class plan that is listed on your homepage. Okay, so if you look here, it says August 24th, orientation quiz is due, academic integrity assignments due. Those are under a different calendar. They're not on this pretty yellow and blue one here. But then August 29th, semester orientation, scientific methods, you can see that those are posted. Okay. And scientific processes, those are posted on the calendar. And they align with what you see there in the middle. Zeros are entered the day after assignments are due. And if you get behind, you're going to have to attend small group sessions, catch-up sessions, to help you get caught up. Don't wait for the end of the semester to get caught up, because if you end up a couple months behind, it's going to be really hard to stay caught up. Now, biology benchmark is something that you should be working on the very first week along with your orientation assignment. It's an all or nothing grade, okay? It's worth 50 points if you complete it, or a 0 if you don't. Everybody got this announcement right here in their email, and I also posted it as an announcement on the class page. So you should have seen this, and it shows you how to log in step by step, what you needed to do, and how to find your benchmark. So follow those. And if you don't know your student ID number, please know that it is different than your registration ID number, okay? So your student ID number, your learning coach can log in and they can see it on their learning coach screen, or your advisors can give you your student ID number. And if you can't get a hold of your advisor and your learning coach isn't around, then you can contact me and I can give you your ID number as well. Okay, so here's the information that you need for that, and make sure you get it done by September 2nd. So the number one reason that students don't pass my class is because they have missing work. You can complete all the quizzes in my class and get a 100% on them, but you'll still fail biology if you don't complete the labs and you don't study for the tests and get those tests completed. So please, please focus on that, okay? Those big point assignments are the major things that you need to get done. Now, Class Connect. I'm really excited to meet you guys, and Class Connects are a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't get to see you guys face to face, but this is the next best thing. This year, like I said, we're on kind of a block schedule. So we will have Class Connect on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you have been assigned by sections to meet with me. And classes are from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with a time period for lunch. So the first time period, for example, would be from 9 to 10:30, but you're not in class that entire time. We actually have class from 9 a.m. to about 9:45 or 9:50, and then there's a brief break. And then those of you who are staying for small groups would stay, and we would have a transition between class and small group. And then we have small group for about 30 minutes. Okay. And then class is over, and the next class would come in at 10:30. And they have a 45 or 50-minute class. And then there's a small transition to their small group. And then the students who are asked to stay for small group would stay, and they have a 30-minute small group, and so on. So I have 4 sections all through the day that work the same way. Okay. You are required to attend Class Connect or to watch the recordings. And again, small group sessions are immediately after Class Connect. If I invite you to attend the small group, please stay. They are for your benefit. Sometimes, especially like lab days, the small group sessions are going to be an extended class. You know, it may not take us 45 minutes to do a lab because we may be actually doing the lab in Class Connect. And in which case, we'll tell you, hey guys, on Tuesday, we're going to do lab, so make plans on staying, okay? And it's going to take us the whole hour and a half to do a lab, but we'll get the lab done in class, and then you won't have to do it on your own. So keep that in mind as well. Now, if you're confused, what do you think you should do? Send me an Insta message. Okay, if you have IM, add me right now. _TXVA. You get extra credit for adding me. Learning coaches can add me as well if they want. I like talking to the learning coaches, parents, please add me. And you can get extra credit for that too. Ask questions through email, especially if they're more personal. If you have general subject questions like, hey, Ms. Zimmerman, I didn't understand yesterday's lesson. Can you explain it? That's what raise your hand is for. Don't ask me a personal question. Don't ask me something about your grade under raise your hand, because I can't reply to you and give you an answer on the raise your hand. I'm going to say, well, email me about that. Okay. Also, again, watch the lesson recordings that I'll be posting, because they will help you get a better understanding. We're going to have not just the actual Class Connects, but other lessons that will help you understand. Okay, yes, there is a quiz for orientation, so please make sure that you do that quiz. It's unlimited retakes, so you can take it until you get a 100 on it, and I want everybody to get a 100, so please do that. Okay, all the answers are here in this recording or in the orientation session on Wednesday. So have a great day, and we'll see you in Class Connect. Goodbye.